welcome to another video from Ignay. Today we're going to be going into the most efficient way to be able to hatch T10s and the cheapest way to be able to hatch T10s. But before we go to that, first off, huge shout out to all y'all. We just hit 1K subscribers, which allowed YouTube to monetize my videos. And as we progress, there'll be more. But before we get into anything, I have to give a shout out to my sponsor. This video is sponsored by Aptoid. Using my code that is on the screen right now and the link, you can go and get anywhere from 5 to 40% off all in-game purchases using my code IGNAY5. Now on top of that, for the first 3 months, we're about a month down, I am giving 100% away of any monetary income that I get. So bring in your friends, let's get more subscribers, bring them into the Discord, and let's see where this can go. Speaking of the Discord, that link will also be down in the description below, as well as all the relevant information on Aptoids, as well as a full video on how to use Aptoids. Anyway, so let's get right into the meat and potatoes. So before anything, you have to realize that T10s take a very long time to hatch. 10 days typically on an hatch, and that's with all the special ants, which we'll get into that. And for mutating from T9 to T10, you're looking at like 23 days to be able to do it. So right there, you can already see that that's a major problem, especially when it comes to SVS and being able to do like a double hatch day, as well as generally just building up your first March worth of ants. So what's the ways around it? So first we'll go into the ones that actually matter, the ones you should really focus on, make sure you get. So for me, because I'm a shooter, the first one's going to be the acid ant, because it gives you the hatch speed and more hatch speed. The hatch speed plus 25 plus then 60, so that gives you 75% extra hatch speed right there. Now for Guardian, it would be the flat shield, and then for Carrier, it would be the Urchin Ant. And those are the ones you really want. Same with the healing, because the healing cost on them is ridiculous. For all three types, you're going to want to get this Crimson Healer, because it reduces the healing costs and the speed, so you definitely want that. Next one to go into is, like for me, it's this Blue Ant, which is the bright blue ant. It gives an extra 15% hatch speed. And yeah, and then of course for Guardians, it would be Dex's Turtle, and for Carriers, it would be the Strobe Ant. Now the reason why these are so important is because without these ants, you're looking, instead of like a 10-day timer, you're looking more at like a 16-day timer. So it almost halves your time that you have. Not quite half, but it still drastically reduces the time that you have to hatch. And then the other factor that you can do, but I wouldn't see it as so much a necessity unless you're like very late game, is the Hermit Crab. Because down here, it does give you hatch speed depending on what level that your Hermit Crab is. Less important, and there's better ways to be able to use your fodder, in my opinion. So I would say that it's not something you really need. But alright, so what about the actual system of how to do T10s? So what I personally found, that way I can still do the double hatch day, is when it's not a hatch day, I go ahead and I start a T10 hatch. Then what I do is on the hatch day, which is usually about 5 days left on the original timer, I go ahead and speed it up my first hatch through those 5 days. After that, I switch over to hatching T9s until the colony actions that I'm hitting and until that day's SVS is done. At that point, I completely stop hatching except for to start a hatch T9 and wait for the next day to hatch. After that, what you do is you wait until you have at least 7 shells, or at least 8 shells on your SVS, and then you go ahead and hatch the rest of your T10. Now what I do is I don't use my normal speed ups or my I don't use my normal speed ups on anything else but hatching. So what that does is it allows you to build up and be able to use even like your 5 minutes, your 1 hours, your 2 hours to be able to have that double hatch. Now, what does that get you as far as actual ants per hatch time? For me, with the method I do, because I mean I use evolution speedups on evolution day. I don't have a building day unless I'm on the island, but I never use any of my normal speedups. And so what that usually gets is per week, I'm getting right around 10 hatches of T10 using this method, while still being able to fully hit my double SVS day for hatching. And the same also applies on island, even with the triple, because what you do is instead of actually on that third day, you might do 1 or 2 T9 hatches, but the majority of it you're going to be doing using insects and combining insects on that Sunday, and that's every other one. So that allows you to get a little bit more there. But like I said, on typical, this gives you about 10 hatches per week without having to use any diamonds, without having to use any extra speed ups or anything like that. So it's pretty much the most efficient and free way to be able to hatch them. Because I mean, if I was to try to complete it now, it'd be 20,000 diamonds. You go through diamonds real quick trying to hatch out some T10. So it's not a real efficient method. Anyway, now we go over into this. Now what I do with this is, as soon as I actually hatch my T10, I go ahead and enhance them over to enhanced T10. So what that allows me to do is each of the timer is like 3 days, which is a lot better than the 20 days trying to take my enhanced T9 up to enhanced T10, because like I said, that's like 20 something days. So that's the best way to be able to do that, and more efficient than trying to directly convert them over. Anyway, I hope that this video helps y'all, and Agnes is out. We'll see you in the next one.